This one's going to be tough, but Muhammad is not a good moral example for all mankind. And I hope you guys still like me after this if you do at all, but I have to bring it up. So I think my question to you guys is it a good example for a 50-plus-year-old man to marry a 6-year-old child and consummate that marriage when she's 9 years old? Is that a good example for mankind?
And I do believe that Aisha radiallahu anha, the marriage was contracted at 6 and consummated at 9. However, if you believe the narration where she herself attests to it taking place, the contract at 6, or the equivalent for you would be betrothal at 6 and consummation at 9, then we should also remain consistent, because we have a hadith where Aisha radiallahu anha explicitly states not only that when she hit the age of 9 she became a woman, but the people around her, when they hit the age of 9, they would become women as well. So she's attesting to historically in her land that girls would become women at the age of 9.
Referenced that Aisha said that women are girls at 9. I think that's Jami al-Tirmidhi 1109. It's at the bottom of that hadith, I believe. Why would a 9-year-old girl who has been married since she was 6 years old and has had a grown man climbing on top of her, having sex with her, why would she call herself a woman? Is she living like a woman? Is she married? Is she engaging in sexual activity?
Okay, beautiful. So you actually have no idea when she's narrating this hadith, because you don't know whether or not this was before or
That doesn't
after
really
she moved
answer
into
my
the Prophet
question,
Muhammad, peace be
though.
upon him's house. So what makes somebody a woman Islamically is puberty. So if she's saying that she became a woman, she's saying that she entered puberty.
Did you notice what just happened? We were told about Aisha, this young kid who is playing with the dolls, going on swings, living her childhood life, until Muhammad, peace, police, FBI, and child protection be upon him, steps in and then destroys her childhood. Because in the same breath, we were told that while Aisha is 9 years old child, Muhammad in his 50s climbs this top of this child and then destroys all of her childhood. And that comes to us from Islamic sources, not from somewhere else. And now, top of that, we've got this new thing is being told, that she herself called a 9 years old girl a woman. So the picture is being presented is this: a 9 years old child, married and somehow described as woman at the same time. I'm forced to ask very basic question: is this actually true? That 9 years old kid is woman, and did Aisha called 9 years old kid as a woman? So here's the hadith that is being brought to our attention. Tirmidhi 1109. Abu Huraira narrated, the Messenger of Allah said, an orphan is to be consulted about herself, then if she is silent, that is her permission. And if she refused, then do not authorize it, the marriage, for her. And hadith is graded as Hasan. So I'm sure as you are reading this hadith, you already got lots of problems, right? Orphan girl. She might be shy and cannot say yes or no. But apparently, according to Muhammad, with all of his stupid wisdom, yeah, that is her consent. She's ready to get married. Very, very disturbing. And it goes on. So pick up with me after hadith is being graded as Hasan, right? He says these are the narrations on this topic. And then it gives you a couple of names and then says Hasan Hadith. And then the next paragraph starts with the people of knowledge differ over the rules governing about giving the orphan girl in marriage. People of the knowledge are arguing about it. They are having their debates and discussions, right? One person says this, other person says this, one knowledgeable person shows no knowledge, another knowledgeable person shows no knowledge, and then it goes on. And then some said this with zero knowledge, some said this with little bit zero knowledge. And then the last paragraph says, Ahmed and Ishaq said that when the orphan girl reached 9 years old age, she is given in marriage and allowed. And then it goes on, right? And then say, they argued using the hadith of Aisha that Muhammad consummated the marriage with her when she was 9 years age. So people are still debating. In their debate, they are using the hadith that Muhammad had a sex with Aisha when she was 9 years old, and then you get to see there is this giant number 1 as a footnote, okay? And then it goes on and then says, Aisha has said when a girl reaches 9 years old age, then she's a woman. And then you've got another number, 2, another footnote. So what is the first footnote? That Hadith says that Muhammad consummated the marriage with her when she was 9 years old. What is the footnote number 1 says? Aisha had reached puberty at age 9. What is the reference that Aisha reached her puberty when she was 9 years old? Seriously. What is the reference? Zero reference. No reference. Allah knows best, knows nothing. What is the reference for this? We don't have reference. We've got footnote. Allah knows nothing, knows best. Seriously. Look at the second one, okay? Still they are in their discussion, right? Still they are arguing. Second footnote. Aisha has said, when a girl reaches 9 years old of age, she is a woman. And then footnote goes and then says, she is judged as having reached womanhood because at that time she attained the perception and discernment to know what is beneficial or harmful to herself. So see what you have here. You are quoting Tufat al-Ahwadi. That's a commentary. That's not hadith. It doesn't even have chain back to Aisha. Like seriously. And Allah Most High knows best. I don't want to be mean, but Allah knows nothing. At age 9, seriously, after age 9, she didn't even know where to put the dough, and you are telling me she knew what was good for her, what was bad for her. Seriously, I don't know, is this like result of 40 generation cousin marriage or what? So what we are presented here? Debates between so-called people of the knowledge and then footnotes. This like red ninja looking lady comes to the conclusion that, well, Aisha says 9 years old is a woman, Aisha is woman. No, they're arguing about it. They are debating about it and they are using something that is not found in Sahih Muslim, in Sahih Bukhari or anywhere else. Where is the reference for it? Seriously, where is the reference for it? No reference. Why? And you know what, like very basic. If you see something finishes as Allah Most High knows best, you just need to come to default conclusion. There is a huge lie is coming or huge lie just happened. Footnotes are being presented to us as, yeah, this is the fact. This is what Aisha says. How sad it is. I shouldn't be saying this as a Christian woman to the Muslims, but Miss Red Ninja looking lady, Miss Muslim, this is bad. Like it's really, really bad. Here's my first problem. Actually, it is, I was going to bring up to you as my problem, but I am going to bring up, this is also problems of Muslims that they are talking about it. First problem is, this statement is not clear. Is it hadith, authentic hadith or no? Is it from Aisha or no? It is just appears in Tirmidhi. The line appears without chain of narrations. Where is the narration of this hadith? Why footnote doesn't explain very basic to us? Just think about that. And you know what? And it's not only me who concerned for this. Here, Muslim websites. Muslim websites are telling us, give full attention. This is without chain. Yeah, it is without chain. I have not come across the complete chain of her narration. Isn't this strange? Not only me who says, where are the names? Muslims are saying, where are those names? Who tells us this is what Aisha said? Even Muslim scholars are telling us, chain is missing. Even Muslim scholars are telling us, this is not fully known. What does that mean? We cannot treat this as strong and confirmed saying of Aisha. That's how it is. I really hope this should bother you. It should bother you. Your prophet, who is identified as the best example to mankind, thinks it is all right to go and climb top of a child. Not only he thinks that, he acts on it. I really hope this is really bothering you. Therefore, you are digging into these footnotes. You are digging into these debates to make your case. You are right. It should bother you very much. And also let me bring something else to our attention. You know, when you kind of read something to Muslims, when you bring up something to the Muslims, they say, what is the context? What is the context? So very basic question I ask. What is the context in this Tirmidhi 1109? The line appears as part of legal discussions that students of knowledge are discussing, not what Aisha said about herself. It is used later by scholars talking about puberty, legal adulthood, and marriage rules. So it is not Aisha is saying that I am a woman at age 9. It is scholars discussing when puberty counts as adulthood. I don't want to be very mean, but their scholars are as bad as their prophet. Why? Because you ask very basic question. What does it mean to be woman? Muslims and Christians should agree on something, right? We are not in the parts of like, oh, we don't know what woman means. No, no. You should agree with me. The moment you start bleeding, that doesn't mean you are woman. The moment you start having your period doesn't make you woman. Your boobs are not developed yet. Your hair is not grown yet. You are not fully formed woman. You are just in the stages of getting to be woman. And this is all about not about the age of Aisha or anything. This whole Tirmidhi 1101, it's all about puberty. That is what people need to focus on, and it should bother you like how come orphans silent is her consent. That should bother you. And then let me also bring up something to our attention, okay? Let's sake of the argument. You want to go that Aisha said at age 9 you are a woman because you are so much bothered how it makes your prophet look very, very disgustingly awful, right? Then you are simply telling me Aisha is a liar. So what are you going to do about other authentic hadiths, right? In Sahih Bukhari, in Sahih Muslim. Because those hadith says, Aisha says she was playing with the dolls. Like every other kids who is on the streets and plays. She's on the swings. What are you going to do about these clear and strong narrations? Are you planning to ignore those and then replace those clear narrations with unclear reports? Is that what your plan is? Are you telling me mother of the believers is a liar? I really don't want you to say that, but if that is your choice and if you want to identify Aisha as liar and not reliable, yeah, that is your choice. It just makes me to think, yeah, why she is called Aisha whore, right? Same mindset. Let me point out the main issue here. Some people take that weak or unclear reports and treat them as clear, direct statements because the reality hits them so badly. They emotionally attached in Islam and then they cannot get rid of it. It is very, very disturbing. But we were told about how the hadith methods works, right? You ask very basic question. Is this reliable? Is the chain strong? Is it really what Aisha said? Is it really Aisha speaking? Or this is later scholars are talking about the laws and regulations, or they are debating about it, or they are trying to explain it. I'll tell you this once for all. I hope I don't need to repeat this again. You cannot take commentary with no chain and then use it to override the authentic hadith. Because authentic hadith already tells you what exactly Aisha was. She was little girl playing with the dolls who have not yet to reach her puberty. She was not bleeding yet. Calling her a woman at 9 doesn't come from the hadith. It comes from later opinions trying to explain things away. And you know, that is the difference between evidence and damage control. Because your prophet is so evil, you need to do damage control.